Hi everybody, title on this video, September 23rd, 2017 sign. What next? So let's get into it and we can take a look at what's gonna happen or what might happen in the coming months. Now, as you all know, that, well, you may or may not know, September 23rd, 2017, there was a sign in the constellations that lined up with Revelation 12. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Here's the picture, which you probably already know what these things are from looking it up yourself. But Leo is made up of um one, four, six stars, but when the planets Mercury, Mars, Venus, and one other planet lined up in Leo, then Leo consisted of uh 12 stars. Virgo, which means virgin, was hotter the sun and had the moon under her feet. So that was in September 23rd, 2017. So let's start with Revelation 12, verse 1. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. As you can see from this picture, the moon was under her feet on September 23rd, 2017. And on her head, a crown, a garland of 12 stars. Leo at the time consisted of these 12 stars. There's 6 stars that made up Leo, the lion, and the 4 planets Mercury, Mars, and Saturn at the feet of Leo. So then you got your 12 stars. Then being with child, she cried out in labor, and then pained to give birth. Now Jupiter was in the womb of Virgo, and on September 23rd, 2017, Jupiter exits the Virgo. As Jupiter is known as the king planet. Alright? The king planet. And on September 23rd, 2017, Jupiter came out of Virgo. That was the birth in Revelation 12. And being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth. That happened on September 23rd, 2017. Another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, there looked a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. 7 heads are 7 mountains, and the 10 horns are 10 kings. You find that in Revelation chapter 17. His tail drew a third of the stars of heaven and threw them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was ready to give birth. Now, this could have already happened. To devour her child as soon as it was born, she bore a male child who was to rule all nations and divide the vine. Her child was caught up to God and to his throne. Now, this male child symbolizes Jesus Christ, who's meant to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and his throne. I saw so many people thought the rapture was going to happen on September 23rd, 2017, but it didn't. We're still waiting. Now, this since Christ was already born, who's the male child? I believe it's the church, the body of Christ. And any minute he's going to come and snatch us up. Now, listen to this. The woman fled into the wilderness. Verse 6. Then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there for 1,260 days. That could be the length of time, and we'll go over more of this in a minute. But that could be the length of time from the sign to the rapture. I'm not saying it is. Saying it might be. Which this time started on September 23rd, 2017, and it ends March 6th through 7th, 2021. So what could happen on that day in 2021? Well, this is what we're going to go over. And so then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there for 1,260 days. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not succeed or prevail. Nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer. So the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So this is the final war between God and Satan in heaven. And Satan's cast out. When? Well, it could be March 6 or 7, 2021, at the end of the 60 days that the woman spends in the wilderness under God's protection for the church from the enemy. So, the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This could happen March 2021. I'm not saying that it will, I'm saying there's a possibility. Then I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, "Now salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ have come, for the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before God day and night, has been cast down. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they did not love their lives to the death." Okay. My understanding of Scripture is that when Jesus died on the cross, Satan lost all power. So you may ask this question: if that is true, then how can Satan have the power to set up the Antichrist? Because at just the right time, God is going to give the devil enough power to put the Antichrist into being. Now, in the next video, I'm going to discuss something different, but I won't go into what am I going to now. So, and they overcame him, that's the devil. Christians overcame the devil, you could say. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives to the death. They didn't love their life in this world because they saw something better. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. The time in Scripture is 1 year. But that might not be the case here. Now when the dragon saw that he had been thrown to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child, which is Christ. So he persecutes the Christians. That's what this is talking about. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to a place where she will be nourished or taken care of for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. Now this could line up to where the woman is in the wilderness, where the church is in the wilderness, being kept safe from the enemy. And then what happens? Verse 15, so the serpent spewed water out of his mouth, like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring who keep the commandments of God and had the testimony of Jesus Christ. So this real quick, this is what I see happening. The woman is in the wilderness until March 2021. And then the Antichrist comes and persecutes the church. God love you, God bless, and she's